this video, we are going to take a look at how we can create a new data dictionary, get it approved, as well as adding a response from data dictionary as an API response in API design. In order to access the data dictionary feature, you have to go to API design module and click on components. Here you get the data dictionary. It is a centralized repository of all your data schemas grouped under data dictionaries, also called as data models. This is how it looks with all the library published in published state. And if you open up something specific, you'll get what are the data models included in this specific data dictionary. For the purpose of this video, let's create a brand new data dictionary. Let's head over to the component section and click on add. Here I have selected data dictionary. I'm adding a new data dictionary. For reference, I have written here, we can see that this is a loan application data schema as well as an example. So this is the example of a loan application ID for a fintech product. So as you can see, there's application ID, full name, date of birth, email, and all other fields. Let's create this as exact schema as a data model inside data dictionary. As we can see, this data dictionary, which is a loan report, has 3 data models. First one is applicant details, second one is the loan application, and third one is the loan status report. All these 3 data models are associated with the response of 3 separate APIs. So let's add one schema data dictionary for that. If I head over here, I can create. So I have put all the details as the first metadata of the data dictionary. As soon as I create it, I am inside the data dictionary called as loan application. At any point of time, I can go here and edit it. Now, there are various ways to create your data dictionary. In this case, you can create from scratch, where you can use the node setup to create your data dictionary or data models. Since I have already written format JSON with me, I can use import from JSON. Here I can paste my data model. From my reference, I can see that the first data model is applicant details, which is the details of the person who is applying for the loan. Here I have 2 options, import as JSON and import as JSON schema. Most of the time there will be an example. So you can, if you are using the first option, which is JSON schema, you can provide something like this, where property, type, string, full name, type string, and all the details are mentioned. Another way is to give an example directly, where the JSON itself will be used to create the schema. So in this case, I'm using JSON. It also has some example data. It will be used to populate the example field. So let's click here and paste our JSON and click on import. Now that I have imported applicant details, I can see that applicant details it has an applicant ID, full name, date of birth, email, phone number, a boolean, and other details. For income breakup, if you can see, income breakup has base salary, variable pay, and other notes. Along with it, it has phone number, which can be array of string, KYC, which is document type, document number, and is it verified or not. So like this, you get a built-up schema. At any point of time, if I go here and click on array of objects, I can see that in example, I get the sample value of the first line. So if I close this and go on line 1 of the address, and I open the example, I get the example values. This is really helpful for API documentation later on, and it auto generates if you are pasting some example response. In this case, you can click on the country and click on example, and you'll get the example here, postal code, and all the other details in the example section. So now that this data model is added, we can see that there's a dotted circle here, which shows that status is in draft mode. In order to use this applicant details in any API response, you need to make sure that this is in the published status. In order to change the status, you can head over to this options, click on edit. Once you're editing the basic details of this data model, which you can rename it from here, you can click on change status. Here I can see that it is in draft. I can click here and click on change status. Here I can change it from draft to active. There's a deep dive into revision management and status change in the upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. So in order to consume this data model in any API dictionary, you need to make sure that the current revision of the data model that you're looking at, which is applicant details, is in active state, as well as the revision that you're looking at of the data dictionary is also in published state. Now I can head over back to the API design. I can click on the new design. I'll start a blank brand new API design. I've added all the metadata and selected a default environment for this one and click on proceed. In order to add a post method in this, I can just click on add operation here and click on post and applicant and click on save. Now that I have created the basic details and structure, I can head over to the component section, go to models, and I can click on import. Here I can import and select a data dictionary name, which is what I just created, and the revision of data dictionary. And I get a list of all schemas in it, which was applicant details. And I can click on save here. As soon as I see it, I can see that there is an application detail imported already. Now I can head over to the applicant details. I can see that the specification has some problem. I can head over to the code section and see that path responses is absent, so that I can add it now. I can head over now to the application responses and click on the response. Here I can click on a gear icon and click on plus. Now I can add the response for 200 OK with a description. And in the content type, I can select JSON, and the schema that I just imported in this API in the component section is available here for me to select. Now I can click on save. Similarly, I can go to the request body. Since this is a post, I can select the content type with a description. Description can be, and add the details here. Now I can see that all the errors are solved. I can go head over and click on change status and change the status to review. Now this is in pending reviews. Like this, you can create your own schemas and import it as a request or a response inside an API design.